Sai Ram, welcome to the Sri Sathya Sai Center of Arcadia. We wish you all a very happy and holy Ganesha Chaturthi. Today, Arcadia Center will be celebrating Ganesha Chaturthi. We have a very special speaker who is known to each and every one of us, and it is our very own brother, Krishna Srinivasan. And I will read his bio, and then Krishna will enlighten us with his many, many words of wisdom. Krishna Srinivasan has a remarkable history of association with Bhagawan and his teachings. At a young age, Krishna came to Swami as a Bal Vikas student and then served as a Bal Vikas Guru. He volunteered in the Whitefield Ashram for several years. At a young age, he chose to abdicate a family life and instead dedicated his life to the service and devotion of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. His dedicated and one-pointed focus to serve Bhagawan for decades has been inspiring to several spiritual aspirants. In the 90s, he proofread all the volumes of Necklace of Nine Sai Gems by Dr. Adivi Reddy and immersed himself in the teachings of Bhagawan, Hindu scriptures, and Sahasranamavalis. He is currently the co-chair of the Sri Sathya Sai International Intellectual Property Committee. He has helped organize several international conferences held by the SSSIO. Professionally, he graduated from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, with a master's degree in electrical engineering and is currently the senior manager of information technology at Kaiser Permanente. Thank you, Brother Krishna. You are our very own center member, and we are just so happy and excited to hear your very, very many experiences and wonderful words of wisdom.
Gajananam Bhutaganadisevitam Kabittajambopala Sara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shokavinasha Karanam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Sai Ram. Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam. Gajananam, the elephant-faced one, that's a normal meaning that we all know. But Swami has very beautifully said, Ga means goal, Ja means Janma, and Anana means face. The goal of life, Janma, the goal of life is Anana is face to face with God. So the Gajanana, the one who puts us to face with God. That's a spiritual inner meaning Swami gave. Gajananam Bhudaganadi Sevitam. So he is served by the Bhudaganas and others. Bhudaganas is, Swami gives another spiritual meaning beautifully, that the 10 senses, mind and intellect, they are all serving and he is control of that. So Bhudaganadi Sevitam. Kabitta Jambupala Sara Bhakshitam. Jambupala Sara Bhakshitam. Kabitta is the wood apple, that's what it is. And jambu pala, that's basically jambu fruit is rose apple. These two, he likes it, he eats that, and the core of that, palasara means core, the core of that he eats. So inside that, it's like a wood apple is very thick, and you can see that it's inside the pulp, he likes that, and so he eats that. Jambu pala sada bhakshitam umasutam. Umasutam is, of course, we all know, he is the son of Uma. Shoka vinasha karanam. Karanam is cause. Vinasha is destruction. Shokam is sorrows. So all the sorrows, he will destroy. He is the destroyer. He is the cause of destruction of all sorrows. Shoka vinasha karanam namami Vigneshwara pada pangajam. To that Ganesha, we all salute. I salute at his lotus feet. So that is the first the meaning of the first sloka. Second one is Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha. Vakratunda is again its curved trunk. That is basically, he has the face of basically the elephant, the curved trunk. That is the meaning that was given. There is again spiritual meaning is that we can go over and all. All these have so many spiritual meanings, but let's go with the normal first meaning that we know about it. Vakratunda Mahakaya is he has a huge body. Surya Koti Samaprabha. So he has it's equivalent of millions of suns. The light, he has the it's equivalent to millions of suns. So Bhutagana, see Vakratunda Mahakarya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva. So you always see this Nirvignam, that means he destroys the vignas, all the obstacles. He removes all the obstacles. So Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. So he is present in all the karya, whatever the actions we do. So he will be present in that. And we pray to him and to remove all the obstacles. So this is a very beautiful sloka. I want to say the way that my mother taught me first, because I went to first started music with her. I said, I want to learn music, because she's a music teacher. So many students come and go, so why can't I learn music? Then she said, no, you don't have the voice. So she will give some kind of thing, and I said, okay. But I keep really saying, no, I want to learn. Then she said, okay. She couldn't stop me, and then everybody will, so many people will come and learn. And then finally, she will be no energy, at that time, because she doesn't take group of people and each one she wants to teach, because she wants to correct like that. So that means it takes so much time. 4 hours she would have sung, and I will go and sit with her, and she will sing and teach. She taught me also. What I'm saying is that, again, this is the first sloka I learned from her, and it is so meaningful to me. So the important part is that we all want one thing. We don't want obstacles. So if you go back in our memories in Prashantinalayam, the two deities Swami always gave so much importance. One is Ganesha and another one is Hanuman. And if you really see these two deities, common thing in the prayers, whatever slokas we chant, these two things will come, Buddhi and Siddhi. So the Buddhi Siddhi is common to both deities, and we need both of them. And another one important thing is Shankataharana. This obstacles, he will remove the obstacles. So both deities has these three qualities, you really see it. And probably because of that, we all need that. And it's always many times what we do is we go for mundane things even mundane things is very important. First, I want to really thank all the officers here, for the 1.5 years we are all doing this online program, but we are able to do all these things because, that's a lot of people, working behind the scenes. But all work was one important thing is so important, this is internet. If this internet network is not there, whatever people do, it will not work. It will not, we all cannot connect each other. One time I'll tell you one story, because we all need, so Vigna Harana means this is how the obstacles, even these important things, we are having this program, we had the one important program, guest speaker has to speak, and we were all looking what to do, because the network was going up and down, we were not knowing what reason. We did whatever we do for all the time, we call the spectrum and this and that. So we don't know what to say, what to do at that point of time. So exactly that moment of time the guest speaker has to speak, everything was fine and everything worked fine. And then we said, okay, very happy. And then we went with, then the next day the spectrum guy came, and then he was putting in all the signals and trying to find out. And we found out there was a wire which is connecting to that modem to the network, to the outside cable. That whole thing is just, there's nothing was there, it's just a little wire. Everything is eaten by the rat. And you know, rat is the Vahana of Ganesha. If you really see, we prayed to Ganesha, and at that moment, somehow he made it to happen, and we all connected. It is very important to note. I was thinking how this can happen. Now I connect it. So we prayed to Ganesha, and this thing happened, and on that day, this really, we did not have any issues. So that the point is that everybody, even all these things, whatever the programs, anything in our life, any obstacles we have, and we pray to Ganesha to remove those obstacles. And he is the Prathama Puja. First you worship him, because all obstacles should go away, so that you can do any other karya, whatever action you have, you will give it, offer it to him, and then he will remove all the obstacles, and we can do whatever we have to do. In this thing, one thing happens, you can never ignore him. If you, anytime, first thing you have to do is basically you have to, for remove the obstacles, everybody has to pray to him. So you cannot, so everybody has to think through any deity, even if you are going to pray Bhagavan, our Bhagavan, we have to pray to Ganesha, because that is why you put that Prashanti Ganapati first. So pray to Ganapati, go back and sit, and you might get a wonderful token number. I have seen one time, this has happened many times. I've seen one person, he will go very meticulously, he does, to 3 a.m. he'll come and sit. I also sit there. I have tested myself. This man will come and sit near me, and he will get 1 or 2 or 3. I get always 25, 26 tokens. So I know that this is because of that. And I try to do this, and it was working for me too. So this whole thing is that even there, so Swami has put this Ganesha for a reason, that we want to remove all the obstacles, because here it's an important thing. All these mundane things are okay, removal of obstacles. But here you want to see Bhagavan. That is most important. And there we don't want any obstacles. So we want moksha, liberation. The first thing we always think is that for little things itself, we have get so many obstacles. For one liberation, how many obstacles will come? All kinds of things will come. So we pray to Ganesha, then we will get moksha also. So it's moksha pradayaka too. So it is very important that we always aim high, which is liberation. Then we can get that also. So when we go into this, first of all, I don't want to go too details on certain things, because if you want to know about everything about Ganesha, so 38 minutes, 54 seconds. There is satyasai.org, we have uploaded Dr. Reddy's talk last year. Just listen to that. You will get the whole synopsis of the entire thing about Ganesha. And I request everyone to do that, because it has a lot of meaning and a lot of details. And he explains in very beautifully in all so many names, how many types of Ganapatis, Ganapati Atharva Shirsham, he goes into those details. But I like always in my childhood as Bal Vikas student, and I was taking Bal Vikas Guru, I like stories, because stories really goes into my mind, and it sits in me, and it comes to me whenever practically I have to work with it. I take one story and apply that story, whether this is the same context, and it works for me. So let's go with slowly some stories, because we have only 20 minutes and I already have 10 minutes gone. So let's get into the first thing is that who is this Ganesha? So we all know, we all sing Ganesha is Shiva's son, and is Uma, now only we know it's son of Uma. So one time what happened was Nandi was put into work. So Mother Parvati told Nandi that please wait, she is going to the private chambers. So nobody, don't allow anybody to come in. So Lord Shiva is coming. Nandi did not know what to do. So Mother Parvati's order is not to allow anyone. So he told Lord Shiva that, so you cannot go in because it's an order from. So Lord Shiva said, no, it's okay. So he went in. So Nandi is his master. What will you do? He will not say anything. So he went in. And then so Mother Parvati did not like it. He did not tell me. So she wasn't prepared for that when Lord Shiva comes in. So she wanted to make sure everything, how it is be there when he is coming. So she did not like what Nandi did. He did not obey her words. So she wanted, a little desire came in. So she wanted someone who will just obey her orders. It's so beautiful that with her own sandal paste, she made a beautiful child, and then she gave her own life force to that. Became Ganesha, and she named her Ganesha, and then asked him to be the to be the god of the chamber. So Lord Ganesha was standing outside. Same episode. Lord Shiva is coming, and implicit obedience. He did not think who it is. First of all, his creator is Mother Parvati, because that is all he knows at that point of time. So Lord Shiva comes, or him, it doesn't matter. His order is implicit obedience to Mother Parvati. So he said, no, Shiva cannot go in, and he was obstructing. And finally, Lord Shiva, had to fight with him. And then with his Trishul, he took away his head. Mother Parvati came. She wasn't happy. She was really she will become Kali at that point of time. She didn't want it. So Shiva wanted to tell her Bhutaganas to go and find any creature, basically putting his head towards the north, and cut that head and come get me here. And then they get the head of an elephant, because the elephant was the first creature that they saw, which is putting its face facing north and sleeping there. And then they cut hold of this elephant. There is a big story behind that. But when the elephant head was put in place, and the Ganesha, the form that we see, that is basically given a full form. And that was the day, it is the fourth day of the Bhadrapada month. So that is called this Ganesha Chaturthi. Chaturthi means fourth day. So this, if you really see, Chaturthi is there every month. There is Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha. It is every month. That's 2 Chaturthis. But the actual Chaturthi is Krishna Paksha Chaturthi is considered as Sankatahara Chaturthi. My mom used to send all these nice sweets every Sankatahara Chaturthi, and she will fast. And they say that if you fast on those Sankatahara Chaturthis, then you will get moksha. And then she sends me all the sweets, and we are all interested in the sweets. So we take the sweets and go to the temple, do the puja, and come back and give it to her. And she was very happy about it. What I am saying is that, but one Vinayaka Chaturthi that we do, some people fast also. In that it is much more benefits, is what is said. So how Ganesha, who is Ganesha, how Ganesha was formed? Ganesha is formed. But people think it's, we all think, Bhagawan Sai Baba, 1926, November 23rd is what he took birth. Really speaking, these are Adi Purushas. They are there even before. We don't know. We just put a form at that point of time, or this thing came. This is a very beautiful story. It says that, this kind of obstacles is not there only for people like us. This kind of obstacles is for everybody. Even Brahma had had problems, and Vyasa Bhagavan. So he also had issues when he was about to write all the Mahapuranas, all the Puranas and the Mahabharata. He also had so many obstacles, because he was about to sit there, meditate. No word he was able to say. He was able to tell anything. So at that point of time, so this is telling me it's only 5 minutes there. So I'll try to go how fast I can go on the because there are beautiful things that we need to know about Ganesha. So what happened was that this is very beautiful. So Ganesha was even present. So he is Adi Purusha. He even present before. How there is a proof here. So this Vyasa Bhagavan was meditating, and he was not able to even get even one word when he has to write all these Puranas. He got the order from Sri Krishna that you have to write the Puranas, Bhagavan. So Bhagavan told you have to write, because this Kali Yuga is coming. Kali Yuga, they don't have any buddhi. So put this thing, make sure that you get this done. Work is given, but he is not able to do that. So he was meditating. But those sages are so beautiful, they were able to immediately go into the Brahmaloka and ask, I am not able to do this. And he is asking Brahma. Brahma says, I also had the same issue, because this Vishnu told me that start the creation and you be the creator. And before he started creation, he had all the obstacles, he couldn't do anything. So what is this, how it is? Then he, at that point of time, this Om sound he's hearing, that Om comes out. This is Vakratunda, this is Mahakaya, this is a huge form with millions of suns of that light. That whole loka is basically the Brahma, it came from Brahma is what is being said. It comes out, and if you really see the Om is written in that Vakram, that whole, the way how it is written in Sanskrit. If you really see that Omkara Swarupam is actually Ganesha. So this Ganesha is the one, Ganesha came out and tells Brahma that now, all your things obstacles will be removed. So pray to this, and this is the mantra you have to say, Vakratundaya Namaha. That Vakratundaya Namaha came from that. The thing is, there are two important things. What happens is Vakra is also it's like, it's curve. Curve means what? It's not going to, if you want to guard, you have to go straight, you have to get out of it. So basically, this Vakram is like obstacle or Maya, ignorance. So Tunda means pieces, he makes it pieces of this thing. So he makes everything pieces, this obstacle, this Maya will not be there, so you will realize God. So even for Brahma, this is the God who has given this, remove the obstacles. So why I'm saying is this obstacles is so important, that how God comes and removes these obstacles. It's very, 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 there are a lot of other things about Ganesha. So we now saw, what are his qualities. There are so many beautiful qualities, you can go on and go on. One of the important things to say about sacrifice, how much sacrifice, it is the embodiment of sacrifice. You know that how he broke the, his own, that Dantam. And then when he was writing that Mahabharat, that the stylus, whatever he was using, was not writing immediately, he used the Dantam to write it. So it is so important that Dantam is so breaking that, his own thing to do that, that is for the sake of this whole world he was doing. So that sacrifice is embodiment of sacrifice. And also, and many other things, there are so many other stories we hear about, that Subramanya story, mango fruit, and there's a lot of good stories about it. But I don't want to go in that one, because there is one thing, even for Lord Muruga, he helped. That is what we need to understand. How? So for Lord Muruga to marry Valli, so he prays to Ganesha. So Ganesha is basically coming in the form of elephant, and then Valli gets really, she was fearful, and she runs to Muruga and then surrenders, and then Muruga and the old man, he comes into Muruga, and then he marries Valli. It's a very big story on that one as well. But what I'm saying is that for all gods also, it is Ganesha who is the Adipati, and people pray to him, gods pray to him, and we all pray to him. That's one of the important things. So we covered about sacrifice, we covered about Buddhi Siddhi, his embodiment of Buddhi and Siddhi. There is one important thing about Ganesha. He's always happy. When you look at any Ganesha, you go any Ganesha, go look at him. He's so happy. Everybody, he is happy, and he gives that happiness to everybody. If you really see, if you have a short man with a pot belly with elephant face, really nobody will like. But when you see him, why that happiness comes? Because he's embodiment of happiness. So Swami is even saying that is the form, even if you really tied up that form, but Ganesha form, everybody likes it. That's what Swami says. And the happiness he gives. The compassion is another important thing, that how river Kaveri, he gave it to the southern India, because the southern India, they didn't have much rain at all. Always there is a water problem there. Of course, our Swami made it in Andhra, he gave water, and even in Chennai he gave water. Is that compassion you can always see. How it happened is basically, Sage Agastya is found this is not good. That's a big story of why it happened also for drought. But he looked at this pathetic situation, so he went to Kailash. Then he prayed to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva took that kamandal, whether the small, that the kamandal, whatever the sage had, he took it, and Lord Shiva actually put the Ganga in and then give it to him. Okay, and then so wherever in your southern India, wherever you go, you put this water, and then in that place, then you will start water will be, there will be plenty of water, there won't be any problem. Then he goes, and of course, obstacles is everywhere. He's taking this thing and he gets confused where to really put it. It's so precious, where to really, this is so precious, we don't want to lose. So he has that thing. Then Ganesha said, okay, this you'll never put anywhere. So he puts the kamandal and then sits and meditates, Sage Agastya. That place is called Kurg now. It's called Kurg. So in the form of a crow, Ganesha comes, and basically he puts that kamandal, and then the water flows away, and then Agastya says, who put this down now? And he looked at he was very mad of who did this kind of job. So he's looking at this person, and then the crow becomes Ganesha. Then Ganesha knows the best, and then he was very happy that Ganesha did this, and the southern India got water. Why I'm saying is that, the life force, water is so important, and how he brought water, Ganga, to the southern India. So this is like, if you go on and on, there is so much about Ganesha, you can go on. Actually, there is, at least for myself itself, just for the preparation of 30 minutes, I looked at Google, at least about 50 stories minimum. It so goes like, so Ganesha has so many stories. It's all coming from Ganesha Puranam. That's what they say. All these stories are in Ganesha Puranam. But each mantra, each name of Ganesha has a story behind it, and the story, and if you learn and understand that story and the benefit and the important quality of Ganesha, it is very, very inspiring, and it's so beautiful. There is one of the important thing is that there are so many ways to worship Ganesha. This is the last one I'm going to complete, because there's long bhajans today. So one of the things that, why do we, we always go to Ganesha and do like this? This is one of the things that we do. Sometimes I was thinking, is there any meaning for that? Why you have to do this, And there is a story for that. Because again, it's Sage Agastya only. What happens is, this river Kaveri, suddenly, ego comes up, and Sage Agastya was nearby, and this river Kaveri was just looking at Sage Agastya, who is a short man, very fat, and she was laughing at his form. Then he wasn't happy. So immediately he put in his kamandala and drained the entire Kaveri. There's nothing, no water. And he put in the kamandala and he put it there. Then this was going on, and another sage saw this, and this is not going to see, immediately prayed to Ganesha, please, we need somebody to, nobody can go to Sage Agastya and tell. So what happened is, again in the form of crow, he comes, and then again he does the same thing. The Kaveri again flows. This time Sage was very not happy. He was running behind. He was becoming, he was in a child. Immediately the crow became a child, not Ganesha. So he came so fast. The Sage Agastya was to knock his head. So he was about to go knock his head, and then Ganesha comes. Then he looks at Ganesha. Oh my God, it's Ganesha himself. So he was so going to hit Ganesha. That's not good. So he prays to Ganesha. So sorry for my mistake. Then it's so amazing. Ganesha says, no, you did not make any mistake. River Kaveri should not have done that. You did it. But to save, because there are so many other people are impacted. So I came and did this. The important thing is that here that humility of the sage is also evolved, realized sage. So immediately he said, no. He was about to put, instead of, so what should I do now? I should do something. I shouldn't have done this. I'm trying to knock your head. Then Ganesha said, no problem. You knock yourself like this and then pray to me. And it was so beautiful. And this sage did that. And now everybody prays with that thing, and Ganesha accepts. So another important thing is the Ganesha is not, he's Sarvavyapi, Vishnu. He says, he's inside also, he's not outside, he's inside. So you do Ganesha here, the temple is inside, you're doing like this here. So you can go on and giving spiritual meaning behind. Swami himself says this too. So why I'm saying is that this very incident tells that how, this incident tells the compassion and the love that he had for people. So with this few words, I would like to close. One thing that I saw from Prashant Nilayam that I wanted to share, because anything we just immediately, our mind goes to Prashant Nilayam, how in the past memories. I was one time in the darshan, Ganesh Chaturthi, I was sitting there, a beautiful darshan, and you don't want to miss the darshan, because that is the time Swami will be outside for a long time. He was going here and there. He will talk to students. He'll talk to the children. It is so beautiful scene. In the normal crowd, you will not hear anything, but seeing his form is beautiful form. One time in the Ganesh Chaturthi, it so happened that Swami asked all the the workers in the ashram. It's compassion. It's so compassionate. Swami told all the workers. So many workers. It's not. We have seen Sevadars. We have seen Swami. Giving gifts to some VIPs, and we've seen people like that. Workers. The first time I've seen workers, Swami called everybody and he made them to sit. Gents separate, ladies separate. My God, so huge. Now, at least easily 700, 800 people, 1,000 people there. All these workers came and sat there. And Swami came in the car and he came down. He could have told the secretary to, give so many saris and so many dhotis were brought up. And Swami could have said, please distribute. There are hundreds of people standing there going to distribute, okay? That's what you would have expected, what will you expect? And we sometimes, we sometimes even Sevadars will get that kind of treatment. Somebody else will come and give it to us. But it is so beautiful. Swami himself took, I couldn't believe, it is a great darshan for us, about an hour. Swami was giving to each one of them. That really tells me, Ganesha is so important, and this compassionate Lord here is also connecting ourselves, how he gave Kaveri, he gave here water, and also these gifts. He gave so many gifts to us. So that memory of that 1 hour, if you think about it, it is so beautiful. With that few words, I would like to end my talk, and thank you for the opportunity for sharing some of my thoughts. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Brother Krishna. Thank you so much. You gave us such spiritual insights on the importance of Ganesh Chaturthi. You gave us so much wisdom. And, we pray that our Lord Sai Ganesha removes all the obstacles and we can see him face to face, as you had mentioned. Thank you again.